It's the end of another week. I actually was out all week for the most part. Monday was no school, it was MLK Day, and then Tuesday through Thursday I was here on campus but at an English as a second language training because our campus and the district is actually moving towards having all teachers be ESL certified. So I was at a training all week long. Today was my first day back, and so it was a little bit weird. I hadn't seen my students all week. However, I had them watch a video that I created over writing chemical equations from a word equation. And then while students were doing that, I had an opportunity to one-on-one conference with the students about their tests that they took last week. It was great because the students were able to do that. I was calling students back one-on-one and I was going over their tests that they took. Many of my students did particularly well, and they were able to find out how they did last week because as soon as they finished, I gave them a highlighter. I put the answer key on Canvas, and then they just highlight either parts that they got incorrect within the problem or they highlight the entire problem. And then I just had students come back and I had real questions, some feedback for them, but then I also just kind of went through the test with them and talked about it. Come on down. What does this have to be to cancel out? Right, so right, 2. Does that make sense? I don't know why I put a 3. And then these you just got backwards. So NO3 was nitrate, so I ate something icky, so, and then righteous, ITE, so this is nitrite, so these were just backwards. This is carbonate, so what is it? Carbonic acid. And then for this was correct, hydro, but then non-metals you changed to IC, so hydrobromic, hydrofluoric acid. But overall, like I would say, you're proficient. And then if you just are able to fix and know the differences with the acids and when to use thick and when to use us, then I would say you're advanced. What's the charge for calcium? So what's the charge for calcium? Positive or negative? Okay, and then what's the charge for nitrite? -3. And then what do you do next?
You put that there and then you put that there.
That's what you have to do for ionic. So for all of these. These are fine, this is fine, you did this fine. Charges, that was very, compared to like what people were doing, like that's, you do it correctly, you just forget the charges. And then you're advanced here. I would say you're even advanced here. So what I would say, like when you're coming in or you're studying, is to kind of focus on the formula writing and making sure that you, for the process for writing ionic is the same for bases and acids. And then just kind of maybe also remember the difference between the ik and the I and the us, because that will help you some. Come on down. So look at the notes that I have for you real quick.
That's what I did wrong?
Yeah, you didn't. So like, this would have been correct because looking at the +1, this is a -1, so it would have just been LiOH. Okay. Aluminum is a, what's the charge for aluminum?
3.
Right, so then you would have crisscrossed the 3 over, so Al parentheses OH parentheses 3. This this you did correctly, but you put a -2.
Here?
Yeah.
What was it supposed to be?
How many does nitrogen need more?
Oh, 3.
Right, so
yeah.
And
This one I
then
got wrong. I didn't
refer back to, so you only have 3 hydrogens, but there were 4 hydrogens. And then you have, carbon has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it can only have how many bonds?
Carbon?
Yeah.
3.
What's the order? How many bonds do H have?
1.
Oxygen?
2. Oh, it can have 4.
Right, so you had more than. Before that, I don't think I mentioned this, they took a self-progress report. So I created a Google form where I had all skills broken down. So for example, skill 1 was like I can name ionic, covalent, acids, bases, was basically the standard. And then under the standard, they could select 4 options, and that was basically the descriptor for, like I can consistently and, you know, whatever name acids, bases, ionic, or I can do it, but sometimes make mistakes, or on my own, I can't remember because I'm not looking at it, but basically like that. And they gave themselves scores, and then once they submitted it, I had the Google Sheet, and I used that to temporarily put scores into the grade book, because I have to manually play around with my grade book because it's percentage based, it's not standards based grading. So all the weights for practice and the tests are set at 0, and then I have a column that says projected grade, from standards based grade to projected grade, and so I have to convert it to a percent because I have to give a percentage grade. Many of my students did well. There are students that know they can do better, and they, even when they came to me or when they self-assessed, when I gave them the highlighter to highlight their test, they were already telling me, yeah, like I couldn't remember whether it was this way or this way. So I think the whole self-assessing right away that I started towards the end of last semester has really helped increase not only like the motivation, but the engagement and the students' willingness to learn. But then in conjunction with the one-on-one conferencing and me giving the feedback to students versus just putting a number or a grade on there. And that's just, the feedback thing is one thing that I feel I haven't really worked on since my first year teaching, because my first year teaching I failed at it miserably, and then I just never went back to it. Whereas now, like, I'm beyond all the other things that I'm doing, I'm trying to, you know, flexible seating, that's still going well with most classes. Standards-based grading, I feel like I'm getting a better handle on that. That's still a work in progress. And then I'm going back to personalization. I'm gonna end here because I only have 8 more minutes of school left. It's 4th period, but I don't wanna get caught in the traffic. I was able to meet my student teacher on Wednesday, and she starts her observations next week, so I'm excited about that. And then she takes over my class, or at least one of my classes, 2 weeks from now. Oh, I do have to give a shout out real quick to the shop teacher here at the campus, because he was able to put some legs on my tables. Originally I had some wooden legs screwed to the bottom of the tables, but that wasn't supportive enough, because sometimes when the students were standing and they would accidentally like move and kick it, it would cause the table to fall down, and so that wasn't really safe. But it's more stable now, so thank you to the shop teacher here on campus. And with that, I am going to grab my stuff and get out of here before the end of school traffic hits. Do me a favor, if there was anything about this video that you liked, then make sure to hit that like button, comment down below, and or share the video. If you haven't already done so, make sure to subscribe so that way you can bond with James. As always, thanks for watching. Bye.